Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to the ladies today about something that could save you from a whole lot of heartache and wasted time. See, sometimes we get caught up in love and relationships, in trying to make things work, and we end up doing things that, quite frankly, work against us. So today, I'm going to lay it all out. 5 things women should never do with a man. A man will only treat you how you allow him to. That statement alone holds so much power, yet many women overlook it. See, in every relationship from the very first interaction, you are setting the tone for how you will be treated. Whether you realize it or not, you are teaching a man what he can and cannot do when it comes to you. If you let things slide, if you tolerate disrespect, if you make excuses for bad behavior, you are sending a clear message. This is acceptable. And once a man knows he can get away with something, trust me, he will. A lot of women fall into the trap of thinking, if I just love him enough, if I just prove my worth, he will change. But that's not how men operate. Men respect boundaries. They respect standards. And they respect what they have to work for. If a man doesn't have to put in any effort to win your heart, if he knows you'll always forgive him no matter what, if he knows there are no consequences for his actions, then he has no reason to step up. You are showing him that he can treat you however he wants and you will still be there. That's not love, that's enabling. It starts small. Maybe he forgets to call when he says he will and you let it slide. Maybe he cancels plans at the last minute and you act like it's no big deal. Maybe he disrespects you in front of his friends and you laugh it off. But here's the truth. Every time you ignore those little things, they grow into bigger things. Before you know it, you're in a situation where you don't even recognize yourself. You're constantly questioning your worth, constantly justifying his actions, constantly hoping for the man you fell in love with to come back. But he won't, because you already showed him that he doesn't have to. Men are very simple when it comes to relationships. They will do exactly what you allow. That's why the women who command respect, who don't tolerate nonsense, who make it clear that they will walk away if necessary, those are the women who get treated right. Not because they are lucky, not because they found a rare kind of man, but because they set a standard and stuck to it. Some women fear that if they set boundaries, they will lose the man. But if a man walks away because you demand to be treated well, then that's not a loss, that's a blessing. The right man will respect your boundaries, not run from them. The wrong man will test your limits, push you to compromise and see how much he can get away with. And if you keep forgiving, keep adjusting, keep making excuses, he will take full advantage. You have to understand that you are the prize. A man should be working to win you over, not the other way around. You don't have to beg for effort. You don't have to chase love. You don't have to accept behavior that makes you feel less than. The way a man treats you is a direct reflection of what you demand from him. So if you find yourself in a situation where you feel unappreciated, undervalued, or taken for granted, take a step back and ask yourself, what have I allowed? Because the moment you decide that you deserve more, the moment you refuse to settle, the moment you make it clear that you will not tolerate anything less than what you truly want, that is the moment you take back your power. And trust me, the right man will recognize that, respect that, and rise to meet that standard. Never let a man disrupt your peace. Peace is one of the most valuable things a woman can have. Yet too many women sacrifice it in the name of love. Love is not supposed to be chaotic, stressful, or painful. It is not supposed to leave you feeling drained, anxious, or unsure of where you stand. But when you allow a man to bring constant drama into your life, when you accept disrespect, when you spend your days questioning his loyalty or intentions, you are giving away your peace, piece by piece. And once it's gone, you will realize how much of yourself you lost trying to hold on to something that was never meant for you. And a good man will bring stability, not confusion. He will bring joy, not emotional exhaustion. He will bring security, not constant doubt. If you find yourself always checking his phone, wondering who he's with, replaying conversations in your head, trying to figure out if he was lying. That is not love. That is emotional chaos. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the more you become addicted to it. It becomes normal to feel uneasy, to argue all the time, to cry yourself to sleep, to beg for clarity. You start telling yourself that this is just how relationships are, that no man is perfect, that love requires struggle. But real love does not require you to suffer. It does not require you to sacrifice your happiness just to keep someone around. Some women stay in situations that steal their peace because they think they have invested too much to walk away. They hold on because they fear starting over, because they believe no one else will love them, because they think if they just try a little harder, things will get better. But the truth is, no man is worth your peace. No man is worth your sleepless nights, your constant anxiety, your emotional turmoil. When you allow a man to disrupt your peace, you are allowing him to control your life. You are handing him the power to dictate your happiness. And the moment you decide to reclaim that power, to remove yourself from anything that costs you your sanity, that is the moment you free yourself. Stop ignoring the red flags. Women have a natural gift of intuition. We feel it when something is off. We notice the small changes, the little lies, the subtle shifts in energy. But instead of trusting that feeling, too many women ignore it. They convince themselves that they are overthinking, that they are being insecure, that they should give the man the benefit of the doubt, and that is where the trouble begins. Red flags are called red flags for a reason. They are warnings. They are signs that something is not right. When a man constantly lies, that is a red flag. When he disrespects you in private or in public, that is a red flag. When he avoids commitment, plays mind games, disappears for days, and then comes back like nothing happened, those are red flags. And yet so many women stay hoping things will change, hoping that if they love him enough, if they prove their worth, if they just wait a little longer, he will become the man they want him to be. But a man will only change if he wants to. Love will not fix him. Patience will not fix him. Ignoring the problem will not fix it. The more you ignore red flags, the deeper you fall into a situation that was never meant for you. The more time you invest, the harder it becomes to walk away. But deep down, you know the truth. You know when a man is not treating you right. You know when you are being used, manipulated, or played. You feel it, even if you don't want to admit it. And the longer you ignore those feelings, the more you allow yourself to be disrespected. It is better to walk away at the first sign of trouble than to stay and wait for things to get worse, because they will. A man who shows you who he is in the beginning will only become more of that person over time. You cannot force him to be different. You cannot change his character. You cannot love him into becoming a better man. What you can do is choose yourself, choose your peace. Choose to trust your instincts, because the moment you stop ignoring red flags, the moment you stop settling for less than you deserve, is the moment you step into your true power. You are not his mother. Don't raise a grown man. One of the biggest mistakes women make in relationships is taking on the role of a caretaker instead of a partner. A man is supposed to come into your life as a whole person, ready to love, respect, and contribute. He is not supposed to be another responsibility, another burden, or another person you have to teach how to treat you right. Yet too many women find themselves in relationships where they are doing everything, fixing, guiding, supporting, and constantly making excuses for a man who refuses to grow. At first, it may feel like love. You think you're helping him, that you're building a future together. You see his potential, and you believe that if you just push him in the right direction, if you support him through his struggles, he will eventually become the man you know he can be. But the truth is, a man who is not ready to grow will never change, no matter how much effort you put in. Instead, he will drain you. He will take everything you have to offer, your time, your energy, your emotional support, without giving anything back. He will rely on you to clean up his messes, to remind him of his responsibilities, to guide him through life like a child instead of a grown man. A relationship should be built on balance and mutual effort. You are not supposed to be his savior, his teacher, or his second mother. If a man cannot take care of himself, if he cannot handle his responsibilities, if he refuses to grow on his own, that is not your problem to fix. A real man will come into your life already prepared to love and support you, not expecting you to raise him into the man you need him to be. Some women fear that if they stop helping, if they stop carrying the relationship, the man will leave. But a man who only stays because of what you do for him is not a man worth keeping. If you have to constantly push him to be better, to work harder, to treat you with respect, then he is not ready for a relationship. You deserve a partner, not a project. The moment you stop trying to raise a man and start expecting him to be responsible for his own growth, you will see the difference between a man who is worth your time and one who is simply taking advantage of you. Never settle for less than you deserve. Too many women accept less than they should because they believe love requires sacrifice. They think that if they are patient enough, loyal enough, forgiving enough, things will eventually work out. They lower their standards, tolerate bad behavior, and accept the bare minimum, all in the hope that one day the man will change and the relationship will become what they always wanted. But settling for less never leads to happiness. It only leads to regret. A man who truly values you will never make you question your worth. He will never leave you feeling like you are not enough. He will never make you feel like you have to fight for his attention, his effort, or his love. When a man cares, he shows it. He makes the effort. He is consistent. He communicates. He prioritizes you. If you find yourself always waiting for him to change, always making excuses for why he treats you poorly, always hoping that things will be better someday, then you are settling. And the longer you settle, the harder it becomes to walk away. Many women convince themselves that they can't do better. They tell themselves that no relationship is perfect, that all men have flaws, that they should just be grateful for what they have. But there is a difference between accepting imperfections and accepting mistreatment. No one is perfect, but love should never make you feel small. It should never make you feel unappreciated. It should never make you feel like you are the only one trying. The love you accept is the love you believe you deserve. If you continue to settle, if you continue to stay in situations where you are not valued, then that is what you will keep receiving. But the moment you decide that you deserve more, that you will no longer tolerate half-hearted love, broken promises, or inconsistent effort, you will start attracting a different kind of love, the kind that is real, the kind that is stable, the kind that makes you feel safe, cherished, and respected. The choice is yours. Either you settle for what is easy, familiar, and comfortable, even if it is hurting you, or you demand better and refuse to accept anything less. But know this, if you do not set your own standards, life will set them for you, and you may end up in a place you never wanted to be. Choose wisely. Stop ignoring the red flags. Women often see the signs early on but convince themselves that they are overreacting or being too sensitive. They tell themselves that no relationship is perfect, that people make mistakes, and that love means being patient. But the truth is, red flags are warnings, and ignoring them never makes them go away. Instead, it allows the situation to grow worse over time. A man who disrespects you once will do it again. A man who lies to you once will lie again. A man who refuses to commit, who disappears when things get difficult, who belittles your feelings, is showing you exactly who he is. And yet, many women choose to look past these things because they are afraid of losing the man. The problem with ignoring red flags is that the longer you do it, the harder it becomes to leave. You invest time, emotions, and effort into a situation that is not meant for you, hoping that things will change. But a man who is not treating you right from the start is not going to suddenly become the perfect partner just because you stay. In fact, the more you tolerate, the less he feels the need to change. He knows you will always forgive him. He knows you will always make excuses, and so he continues because there are no consequences. Women often mistake potential for reality. They see glimpses of who the man could be rather than accepting who he is in the present. They hold on to the good moments and convince themselves that the bad moments are temporary. But love is not supposed to be a constant struggle. A healthy relationship does not leave you feeling anxious, confused, or unappreciated. If something feels off, if something does not sit right with you, trust that feeling. Your intuition is not lying to you. The sooner you acknowledge the red flags, the sooner you can protect yourself from heartache. Never settle for less than you deserve. Too many women compromise their happiness because they believe they have to. They convince themselves that love requires suffering, that every relationship has its struggles, that they should be grateful for what they have, even if it is not making them happy. But settling is not love. Settling is accepting less than what you truly want because you are afraid you will not find anything better. It is staying in a relationship that does not fulfill you because you do not want to start over. It is lowering your standards just to keep someone in your life. A man who values you will never make you feel like an afterthought. He will never leave you wondering where you stand, never make you question your worth, never give you half-hearted effort. But the moment you allow yourself to accept less, you send a message that you are okay with it. A man will only do what you allow. If he knows he can get away with giving you the bare minimum, he will never give you more. If he knows you will stay no matter how many times he disappoints you, he will never change. The problem with settling is that it does not just affect your relationship, it affects your entire life. When you are in a situation that drains you, that makes you feel unappreciated and unseen, it spills into every other area. You lose confidence. You lose joy. You lose the ability to dream bigger for yourself. Love should not make you feel small. It should not make you question your value. It should not require you to shrink yourself just to make someone else comfortable. Know your worth and never waste time on a man who does not see it. A woman who knows her worth does not beg for love, attention, or commitment. She does not chase after a man who does not prioritize her. She does not tolerate half-effort, broken promises, or emotional gain. She understands that love is not about convincing someone to treat her right. It is about being with someone who does so willingly. The way a man treats you is a reflection of how he sees you. If he values you, he will show it in his actions. He will respect you, prioritize you, and make sure you feel loved and appreciated. If he does not, no amount of patience or effort on your part will change that. Women waste too much time trying to prove their worth to the wrong man when the right man would never need convincing. Some women stay in bad situations because they think leaving means they failed, but the real failure is staying where you are not valued. Time is something you can never get back, and the more time you give to the wrong person, the less time you have for the right one. Walking away from a situation that is not serving you is not weakness, it is strength. It is a declaration that you refuse to accept anything less than what you truly deserve. When you know your worth, you move differently. You do not beg, you do not settle, you do not ignore the signs. You choose yourself every single time. And that choice will lead you to the love, happiness, and respect that you truly deserve. Never let a man disrupt your peace. Your peace is one of the most valuable things you have, and once it's gone, it's hard to get back. Too many women allow themselves to be pulled into chaos thinking that love requires struggle, but love should not leave you feeling anxious, uncertain, or emotionally drained. A man who truly values you will add to your life, not take from it. He will bring security, not confusion. If you find yourself constantly questioning his intentions, worrying about where you stand, or feeling like you are in an emotional roller coaster, that is not love. That is instability. Some women hold on to toxic situations because they believe the man will change. They think if they just prove their worth, if they just show him enough love, he will start treating them better. But a man who disturbs your peace will not suddenly wake up one day and become different. If he sees that you accept the chaos, that you keep coming back despite the emotional turmoil, he will continue doing what he's doing. He has no reason to change because he knows you always forgive, always stay, always tolerate. A peaceful relationship does not mean there will never be disagreements or hard times, but it does mean that you should never feel like you are in a constant battle just to be happy. If a man brings stress, drama, and emotional exhaustion into your life, you have to ask yourself, is this love or is this just attachment? Are you staying because you truly feel loved and valued, or are you afraid to let go? The moment you choose your peace over his presence, you will realize how much you were carrying that was never yours to hold. Stop ignoring the red flags. Women have a powerful gift called intuition. That gut feeling that tells you something is wrong, that little voice in your head that warns you when something doesn't feel right, that is your protection. But too often, women silence that voice. They convince themselves that they are overthinking, that they are just being insecure, that they need to give the man another chance. And that is where they go wrong. When a man lies, when he disrespects you, when he shows you that he is inconsistent, those are not small things to overlook. Those are warnings. A man who truly values you will not put you in a position where you have to wonder about his loyalty, his intentions, or his feelings. If you find yourself constantly making excuses for his behavior, telling yourself that things will get better, or blaming yourself for his actions, you are ignoring the truth. A man will always show you who he is. You just have to be willing to see it. The problem with ignoring red flags is that the longer you do it, the harder it becomes to leave. You get attached to the idea of who he could be rather than accepting who he really is. You start justifying his behavior, lowering your standards, and losing yourself in the process. But deep down, you know when something isn't right. The sooner you acknowledge the red flags and act accordingly, the sooner you protect yourself from deeper heartbreak. You are not his mother. Don't raise a grown man. A relationship should be a partnership, not a parent-child dynamic. If you find yourself constantly guiding, teaching, and fixing, you are not in a relationship. You are in a full-time job. A man should come into your life already knowing how to love, respect, and care for you. He should not need you to raise him into the man he is supposed to be. Some women think that if they just help him enough, if they just push him in the right direction, he will change. But the truth is, a man will only grow when he decides to. If he is lazy, if he lacks ambition, if he does not treat you right, that is not something you can fix. No matter how much love and effort you pour into him, he will not change unless he wants to. And a man who truly wants to be better does not need to be forced. He will do it on his own. You deserve a man who meets you at your level, not one who expects you to carry the entire relationship. If you have to teach him basic respect, responsibility, and effort, then he is not ready for a relationship. You are not his mother, his life coach, or his savior. The moment you stop trying to raise a man and start expecting him to be responsible for himself, you will realize how much energy you were wasting on someone who was never willing to grow. Never settle for less than you deserve. The love you accept is a reflection of what you believe you deserve. If you settle for inconsistency, for disrespect, for half-hearted effort, then that is what you will continue to receive. A man will only give you what you demand. If he knows he can get away with doing the bare minimum, he will never go above and beyond. If he sees that you accept mistreatment, he will never change his ways. Some women stay in bad situations because they are afraid to be alone. They tell themselves that all relationships have problems, that no man is perfect, that they just need to be patient. But there is a difference between accepting imperfections and accepting mistreatment. A man who values you will never leave you feeling unappreciated, unloved, or emotionally exhausted. He will show up for you. He will be consistent. He will make you feel secure. If you have to constantly question his feelings, fight for his attention, or beg for the love you deserve, then you are settling. Walking away from something that is hurting you is not failure, it is strength. It is choosing yourself. It is understanding that love should never cost you your peace, your happiness, or your self-worth. The moment you decide that you deserve more is the moment you open yourself up to real, healthy, fulfilling love. But you have to make that choice. You have to believe that you are worthy of more. Because once you do, you will never allow yourself to settle again. Never let a man disrupt your peace. Your peace is one of the most valuable things you have. And the moment you allow someone to take it away, you start losing yourself. Love should not feel like a constant battle. It should not bring you anxiety, uncertainty, or emotional exhaustion. A man who truly values you will not be the source of your stress. He will be your place of comfort. If you find yourself always walking on eggshells, always trying to fix things, always hoping for a moment of stability, then you are not in love, you are in survival mode. Some women hold on to toxic relationships because they think love requires struggle. They think if they endure enough, if they prove their worth, if they love hard enough, things will get better. But a man who brings chaos into your life is showing you exactly who he is. If he is inconsistent, if he plays mind games, if he disappears and reappears when it's convenient for him, he is showing you that your peace is not his priority. A peaceful relationship does not mean there are never disagreements, but it does mean that your happiness should never feel like it's always hanging in the balance. The moment you choose your peace over his presence, you will realize how much you were tolerating that was never meant for you. Stop ignoring the red flags. Women often see the signs early on, but instead of walking away, they convince themselves that things will change. They see a man's potential instead of accepting who he is right now. They make excuses for his behavior, hoping that if they are patient enough, he will become the man they want him to be. But red flags do not disappear. They only become harder to ignore. If he lies once, he will lie again. If he disrespects you once, he will do it again. If he refuses to commit, if he is emotionally unavailable, if he makes you feel like an option instead of a priority, these are not small issues to overlook. These are warnings that this man is not ready, willing, or capable of giving you the love you deserve. The longer you ignore red flags, the more time you waste, and the more time you waste, the harder it becomes to leave. If something does not feel right, trust yourself. Your intuition is not lying to you. The right man will never leave you feeling confused, insecure, or unworthy. Love is not supposed to be a guessing game. If you have to constantly wonder where you stand, that is your answer. You are not his mother. Don't raise a grown man. A relationship should be built on partnership, not parenthood. If you have to constantly teach a man how to love you, how to respect you, how to take responsibility for his life, then you are not in a relationship. You are raising someone else's son. A man should come into your life already prepared to love, support, and build with you. He should not require you to fix him, guide him, or carry the entire relationship on your back. Some women think that if they help a man enough, if they stand by him long enough, he will grow into the man they need. But the truth is, a man will only change if he chooses to. If he lacks ambition, if he refuses to take responsibility, if he is comfortable with letting you do all the work, that is not your burden to carry. The more you take on, the less he will do. The more you excuse, the less he will grow. You deserve a man who meets you at your level, not one who expects you to build him into the man he should already be. Never settle for less than you deserve. The love you accept is a reflection of what you believe you are worth. If you allow inconsistency, disrespect, and half-hearted effort, then that is what you will continue to receive. A man will only give what you demand. If you accept the bare minimum, he will never go above and beyond. If he knows that no matter what he does, you will stay, then he has no reason to change. Too many women stay in situations that are not serving them because they are afraid to start over. They convince themselves that no relationship is perfect, that love requires sacrifice, that they should be grateful for what they have, even if it's not making them happy. But there is a difference between accepting imperfections and accepting mistreatment. A man who values you will never make you question your worth. He will not make you feel like you are in competition for his attention. He will not give you just enough to keep you around, but never enough to make you feel secure. If you have to constantly beg for the love, effort, and respect you deserve, then you are settling. Walking away is not losing, it is choosing yourself. And when you finally choose yourself, you will realize that settling was never love. Know your worth and never waste time on a man who does not see it. A woman who knows her worth does not beg for love. She does not chase a man who is unsure about her. She does not tolerate broken promises, inconsistency, or emotional manipulation. She understands that real love does not require her to shrink herself, to accept less, to constantly prove that she is worthy. The way a man